Never hunt alone. His story comes from close to a year ago. It was a cold, dark Pennsylvania night in Appalachia that still haunts me every time I peer into the woods. I live in northeast Pennsylvania. It's a mountainous region with many urban legends and stories of cryptids. But like many scary stories, I thought these were myths rather than fact, told only with the intent to scare you. But now I understand that these stories are told as a forewarning. It was sometime in November 2022, the day was slowly coming to an end, as the sun slowly began setting behind the mountains. Me and my buddy, who I'll call M, were out in the woods getting packed up from hunting, trying to get out of the woods before the sun fully set. We were walking and talking, bullshitting the whole time, keeping an eye out for any buck we might be able to score before nightfall. When all of a sudden a doe runs out onto the trail, my buddy, thinking he's funny, charges towards the deer. But it doesn't run, it just turned its head and looked at us. Something was off about this doe though. It had human-like eyes that peered right through me. We screamed and kicked trying to startle it, and after a couple seconds it finally walked off into the woods. We started walking again, brushing off the encounter as just a deer with brain damage. We were walking for quite a while and the trail seemed longer walking out than in. It was almost like the trail had changed. Growing more and more impatient, me and P start walking quicker trying to get back to the truck, when we stopped dead cold in our tracks. Out of nowhere we heard what sounded to be a mountain lion scream, again and again, getting slightly closer each time. The silence in between each scream was louder than the scream itself. The crickets and wind has seeming vanished. But we had no reason to be scared, right? We had firearms, we would just shoot it. So with uneasy feelings we start walking, trying to make the least amount of noise as possible. Until we heard it again, right next to us. But nowhere in sight. So we start booking it. I don't look back as the truck is in sight. I get to the truck but P has the keys, so I turn around expecting him to be right behind me, but he was nowhere to be seen. Except the same ominous deer we had seen minutes prior. My heart dropped as I was alone now in this deer. This thing was just staring at me. With that same, empty human-like gaze. But, thank God P had just ran off the trail and took the longer way back. We got in the truck confused and uneasy as this was not a normal occurrence. When I told this story to a friend, he informed me of skinwalkers and the Wendigo. To this day I still believe we had encountered a skinwalker.